Hey, what's up? This is Alissa White-Gluz from Enemy, and we are currently on tour. It's been amazing so far, but I want to talk to you about my top 11 favorite death metal vocalists. So in no particular order, it's really difficult to narrow down my favorite vocalists and especially my favorite death metal vocalists. So I've allowed myself to expand beyond just purely death metal bands and include vocalists that I really love who do a death style of vocal as well as other styles. To start with, I'm going to say Angela Gossow. The texture in her voice and the aggression in her consonants is so unique, it's so distinct. It's a voice that a lot of us really, really love, and she has sang on some of my favorite songs that now I get to sing. So I guess in the first spot, I say Angela. So next up, again, no particular order because I can't choose a favorite. I'm gonna have to say Randy from Lamb of God. He has a really distinctive tone, a really velvety texture in his growl, and he also does something that I love to do, which is to kind of slide up and down between pitches in a growl. Randy from Lamb of God takes my number 2. So next up for number 3, I gotta say Trevor from Black Dahlia Murder. Unfortunately, Trevor just recently left us, which was really devastating to everyone in the metal community, especially like on this tour. You know, when we heard about it, we were all really shocked. It's extremely sad, but that's not why I'm choosing Trevor actually, because I have always thought that Trevor was a great vocalist, super down-to-earth human being. I love how he incorporates super highs and super lows and just really gives a sort of diverse range of growling to the songs. I've had the pleasure of performing with him at Metal Allegiance shows, and so Trevor from Black Dahlia Murder is also one of my favorite vocalists. Next up for my list of favorite death metal vocalists, I'm going to say Phil from Pantera. I know that he's not technically a death metal vocalist if you want to go into the purest sense of the word, but he's an amazing vocalist, amazingly versatile, and has a great natural tone. So Phil is definitely one of my favorite vocalists of all time. For my next favorite vocalist, I'm gonna say Corey Taylor, actually. Amazing vocalist in so many different styles, which he shows with, you know, multiple different projects that he does. But I really like how he has such a fast way of saying each syllable. He's able to really spit out syllables really quickly, and that's something I do too on, you know, for example, The Race or As the Pages Burn, those kind of songs, and that's a really, really fun technique. I think everybody knows that Corey is a great vocalist, so he definitely makes the cut for my list too. This is someone that I've shared the stage with many times, both on stage during his gig with Testament at a festival many years ago, and also with Metal Allegiance, and that is Chuck Billy. He is such an icon, such a great frontman, but also a really great singer, and I don't know if everyone is aware of the versatility of his voice. I got to see them play right before we started this tour, got to go see their sold-out show in LA, and I could really hear Chuck's voice super clearly from where I was watching the show, and I was just blown away by his thrash voice, of course, is what he's known best for, but he's got a great low death growl, and he also has a great clean singing voice. So Chuck Billy is definitely on the list for me. Okay, so I'm cheating a little bit here, and I apologize if this list is becoming longer than it's supposed to be, but I can't give a list like this without mentioning the people that I've been listening to every single night for the past month, and that is Nergal from Behemoth and Barney from Napalm Death. Nergal, the Nerg as I call him, has a great voice. He's consistently great every night. It rumbles through the audience. It's got great texture, great tone, and really fits the music super well, I think. I love the sound of his voice, and he has to be on the list because I've been totally enjoying touring with Behemoth for the past month, and we're gonna do it again in Europe, so that's gonna be just another joy, I'm sure. And Barney from Napalm. I love Barney. I love him as a person. I love everything he stands for. We're very similar in that way. And the way he delivers vocals on stage is just amazing. I first started digging into Barney's voice a few years ago because actually Volbeat was touring, and Barney sings a song with Volbeat. And Volbeat asked if I wanted to come on stage and sing that song with them at one of the shows. And so I studied that song and I practiced that song and I listened over and over again to Barney's take on that song to learn the song. And I was like, this is the most angry voice I've ever heard. And Barney's such a sweet person, and the juxtaposition there is just so cool and so much fun. That is pure anger and pure dedication to the music, and I absolutely love Napalm Death for it. Next up on the list is one of my all-time favorite vocalists, who also does a variety of techniques but excels in the death metal style, and that is Devin Townsend. I had the pleasure of singing with Devin Townsend on a song which oddly enough is like a small world here, because that song is a part of Me and That Man, which is Nergal from Behemoth's other band that he does. So we sing on a song together called Goodbye. And Devin is super diverse. I've always loved his voice. I've always loved what he chooses to do with his voice. And he continues to surprise and intrigue me with every new project he puts out. So Devin Townsend is definitely on the list. Next up on my list is Mikael from Opeth. I absolutely love Mikael's voice. He has such a great natural tone. The bass in his voice really fits super well with Opeth riffs. I think it matches the music perfectly. I'm a big fan of his clean singing voice too. So again, even though maybe Opeth is not a death metal band, Mikael does use a death metal technique, and I love it. To finish off the list, I have to include some more of my friends, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of them, and I apologize for that. It's super difficult. Revolver, you are not making this easy, making me choose just 11. But I gotta say, Joe from Gojira. He's a good friend of mine, amazing vocalist, and I love this kind of, the way that he sings. It's a little bit different than a usual death metal technique. It's similar to Morbid Angel in a way. He uses notes in his screams, and I do that too, for example, on the chorus of As the Pages Burn or the chorus of House of Mirrors. So this is just another technique that I, heard over the years and decided to add to my arsenal, and worked until I was able to nail it and include it in my arsenal of vocal techniques. But Joe from Gojira, amazing frontman, amazing vocalist. He could hold a scream forever, and he is just pitch perfect with those harmonics that he includes in his screams. And I think it sets Gojira apart as an even cooler band. Their music is so interesting and so cool, and his voice is just the cherry on top. That was my list of my top 11 favorite death metal vocalists. I wasn't able to include some of my favorites like Ihsahn or Corpse Grinder, and you're making it super tough because there are so many awesome vocalists out there that are in death metal bands or are in other kinds of metal bands, but they use that death metal technique, which is what I use as well, and I absolutely love it. So, thank you, Revolver, for this listicle. And I hope I did it justice. Next time we have to make it 100 because it was super hard to narrow everyone down.